Welcome to the PACWEST's Best in Class, highlighting student athletes that are leaving their mark on athletics and academics across the conference.
It's a PACWEST Best in Class. My name is Ryan Waters, and this is Cara Dunlop in her third year with the VIU women's soccer team. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Why VIU? Why did you choose to go to Nanaimo or stay on the island?
Yeah, so VIU has a really good education program, which is what I'm in. So they produce highly regarded teachers. And because I knew coming straight out of high school that I wanted to be a teacher, I kind of had my heart set on VIU. And then when I was younger, I grew up watching various Mariners teams play. So I think it's really special that I get to play and represent my hometown university. So that's why I chose VIU.
Your dad's also there in the athletic department. Were you allowed to go anywhere else?
It's actually pretty special. My dad's really a big fan of the Mariners, so the fact that I get to play for the Mariners and also my brother does too, it's kind of a whole family affair, and yeah, it's pretty exciting for him to have both of his kids play for the school he works for.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. So you mentioned you're in the education program. Why choose education? You said you had an inkling coming out of high school that you wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah, so I was really lucky. I had a really good educational experience just straight through. And one thing that really stood out to me is I had a lot of volunteer coaches that played a big role in my educational experience, because sports were a massive part of that for me. And without those coaches, I wouldn't have been able to have that experience. And a lot of kids don't get to play school sports just because they don't have volunteer coaches. So beyond being a teacher in the classroom, I want to extend myself into school sports also and provide that opportunity for young students.
Would you coach soccer, or could you coach other?
I think I could probably do soccer, basketball, maybe some running also.
Well, running kind of goes hand in hand with soccer and basketball.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely.
So when did you really become interested? So you said you had volunteer coaches through high school, but even back as far as elementary school, did you start to think, maybe I could be a teacher?
Yeah, my mom's a teacher, so just seeing the great lifestyle it provides her and having a family, I think that also really made it appealing to me. And then also with education, there's so many different avenues you can go down. You can be a teacher, you can be a coach. It's just a good foundational education. And I'm really passionate about it.
Yeah. So what are your educational goals? And obviously to get your teaching degree, is there anything beyond that?
I plan on graduating, and then beyond there, I'll probably work for a few years. Then I'm looking to come back probably and take my master's in leadership. I don't know, I have an extra year of eligibility banked from this year, so who knows, maybe I'll come finish that off. And then I'm also really into the coaching education right now. With all this extra time off, I've been taking some coaching courses, so I kind of have my eye set on I think it's the National Youth Coaching License, so I'm working towards that also.
How long is that? What kind of process is that?
You got to take a few courses, and then I think you need to get your C-level license first, and then work towards that.
Wow. Do you feel, when you do get back on the field for the Mariners for this year and the years to come, do you think you'll be more of a coach player or player coach? Could you see yourself taking on that role?
Well, if you ever watch me play, I'm pretty loud on the field, so I feel like I already kind of do direct traffic, but yeah.
Well, there must be some challenges for you as a student athlete to keep everything in line now that you're going into you are in your third year. It's an intense program, I'm sure, with education. How do you keep it going? Able to play at such a high level, but doesn't also complete all your studies?
So I kind of just have the mentality that school provides me with the opportunity to play the sport I love. So I need to give just as much effort to my studies as I do to my sport. So with that in mind, I'm really punctual about handing in things on time, just like how I'd be punctual about being at practice. I don't let things pile up. I have an ongoing to-do list, which sometimes looks daunting, but just one thing at a time. And I think I made habits for myself in high school that made the transition to university pretty easy in my opinion, because I already had those values and habits instilled in me. So I've actually hasn't changed too much for me since the transition to high school. I've just kind of maintained what I did before, and it's working for me.
Yeah. Other than to-do list, are there any other tools that you use to keep yourself on track?
I write out my planner usually, and I also put it in my phone, just because if I write it down, I memorize it better, and then my phone is just easily accessible. And then taking breaks is also important, something I've learned that I haven't always done, but I think it's really important and I'm learning to do more of.
It's interesting when you go along, you find out these little tips and tricks that you can have success with, right? So knowing that, would you do anything differently? If you could go back and talk to yourself a couple of years entering VIU, would you do anything differently?
I don't think so. I've thoroughly enjoyed my experience so far, and I don't think maybe with the pandemic I would have made more time to have fun. But other than that, no, I don't think I would change anything.
Well, this pandemic hopefully will be over soon, and then you can have some fun.
Yeah.
Are you getting back on the pitch? Are your team allowed to get back on the field?
Yeah, so there was a couple cohort situations going on that made it kind of hard for us to get going in the fall, but we just started practicing Fridays and Sundays, and then we're been on a strict gym program, and then we do a really early morning Zoom workout together. So it's nice to have everyone back together. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, listen, it sounds like you have so much on your plate. Thanks for taking time, and you're at PACWEST Best in Class for VIU, and hopefully in the fall we'll see you on the pitch.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thank you.
The PACWEST's Best in Class, highlighting the men and women of the PACWEST Conference. To learn more, visit pacwestbc.ca.